right, this is from yesterday. So that's why it's printed for you, just because I want you to have time to really practice kind of the whole process. So from yesterday, I want to find the x-intercept, so I plug in 0 for y, right? So instead of y equals all of this, I'm going to say, oh, all of this equals 0 instead. So I solve by factoring, which means I factor, and I say, oh, a number times a number equals 0. Well, either that number must equal 0 or this number must equal 0. And I solve, right? And I get my x-intercepts. And I get my y-intercepts as well. Okay? And now here's the new part. So I already have, and look, I'm gonna just put it on the graph. I'm gonna put my x-intercepts. So my x-intercepts are -7, 0. And 2, 0, and my y-intercept is 0, -14. So I'm just going to kind of like graph those, right? Look, my x-intercepts, I'm going to label them 1 and 2. And then my y-intercept, I'm going to label it 3. And now here is where we are going to add to our graph more than yesterday. I'm going to find the axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry. Now I want you to really picture this, because like here's my parabola, right? Here's the axis of symmetry. It's right down the middle. Okay, so I can kind of like, I should be able to look at my graph and kind of guess like, it's going to be negative something, negative right around here, maybe -2, 3, I don't know, somewhere in there. Okay, it's always going to be x equals, right? Because it's this line, it's a vertical line where x equals a number. And here's my formula, -b over 2a. Okay, let's look at my equation. My equation is y equals a times x squared plus b times x plus c. So here, my a equals 1. And what does my b equal? Oh, my b equals 5. All right, so let's go ahead and plug in -b. So, okay, -b, my b is 5. So I'm going to write negative, my b is 5, over 2, and my a is 1, right? I said my b was 5. Look, this is what I found, and I'm just going to write it here so you can kind of reference it. This was just from my equation. So -b over 2a. This becomes -5 over 2. And I get -2.5. And look. Remember when I was like, it's like -2 or 3? Yep, that's exactly what it is. Okay, it's -2 or 3. Okay, now, here's what I want you to understand. The vertex, okay, I don't want you memorizing this process because it's too much. The vertex, think about where the vertex is going to be. It's always right here, okay? And the vertex is a point. Now, the x value of that point, look, this this axis of symmetry is right here. Okay, it's at -2.5. Remember, this was, what was this? 2, this was -7. Here's -2.5. And again, I'm like, I'm eyeballing it, you know. Think about this vertex. The x value of this vertex it's on this line. So the x value is -2.5. The x value of the vertex is this number. It's always this x value. Okay, that's this vertex. It's always this x value right here. Okay, so in this case, that's -2.5. Now I need to know why. Okay, now how do I find it? Here's my equation. Y equals x squared plus 5x minus 14. And I already know my x value. How do I know my x value? Because the x value of my vertex is always going to be this x value. So I'm going to plug in, okay, and when I watch, I'm going to write a little bit small. I'm going to plug in -2.5 everywhere I see the x. Okay, so I'm going to plug in -2.5 twice, okay? Am I scared because it's a decimal? Absolutely not. Use the calculator if you need to. It is fine. You are okay. All right, let's do the math. -2.5 squared. It's a negative times a negative. It's a negative times a negative. So this is going to be a positive. -2.5 times -2.5 is 6.25. Right? Negative times negative is positive. Now here, this is a positive times a negative. So that's 5 times -2.5. That's -12.5. And I'm bringing down -14. Okay? And then I'm just doing this subtraction. Again, we do not need to be scared. We are just typing this junk into the calculator. 6.25 minus 12.5. You can press enter here if you want. Okay? Or you can just type in the whole thing. It doesn't matter. Minus 14, I get -20.25. Okay, now, look, This is my point. This is my vertex. I'm going to graph it. Look, this was this right here, right? This was 0, negative 14. So here's negative 14. Negative 20 is going to be down here lower. Look, it's negative 2.5. It's on this line. And negative 20.25. I'm going to label my vertex number 4. Okay, I drew my line of symmetry already. Now, before I draw my parabola, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this. I'm going to estimate the reflection of the y-intercept. Here's the y-intercept. I'm going to just reflect it over that line. And that just gives me 5 points to draw my parabola through. Look how pretty this is going to be. And there it is. All right, your turn. Try it out.